Hey everyone, this is Effort Effects, and today we're going to be covering how to design a magical system. Let's get stuck right in. First up, there's 3 magic types you should choose from: hard magic systems, soft magic systems, and a middle ground. Let's go over each of them. Hard magic systems. Many people discussing this topic consider the cartoon Avatar a fantastic example of a hard magic system. In Avatar, magic, named bending, has 4 main categories: earth, fire, water, and air. Humans with this power are called benders, and can only possess one of the elements, allowing them to manipulate them. So firebenders can shoot fire, waterbenders can shoot water, earthbenders can shift air, and airbenders can create airflows. These abilities have natural extensions. Waterbenders can create ice out of water, firebenders can create lightning, earthbenders can bend metal, as metal is just refined rock. I've missed a few other special abilities, but you get the general idea. The only exception is the one element per person rule, which is the Avatar, who can control all of these elements as well as potentially their natural extensions, although this rarely happens. The system has strict rules and limitations, hence it's a hard magic system. Soft magical systems. These magic systems have few extremely hard laws, or none at all in some cases. But a good example would be Harry Potter. There are only really 3 hard rules. You need to be a witch or wizard, you need to have a wand, and you need to be able to say a magical word. And that's it, folks. After this, there are a few limiting factors for what a wizard can do. They can create things out of thin air, they can move objects, they can make potions that turn you into a luck god, they can use a wand to turn you into a mouse, they can even time travel, because why not? Avatar has set limits of what can and can't be done. Harry Potter is little to none. This gives Harry Potter more creative freedom, humour and variance, whereas a hard system can be more in depth and creative in their creations, as well as having far less plot holes. Refer to the time turners in Harry Potter, and why they weren't used by bloody everyone. Voldemort's coming, oh no, I'll just go back in time and avoid that, or get a bunch of people to jump him. And yes, I heard they were completely destroyed, which was super convenient for Lord Voldemort. I mean, he's lucky that not one in the entire fucking planet survived when Harry went to the Ministry. I mean, he was really lucky that not one was given out at that point. He's just extremely fortunate that the entire world has no more besides England. And he's really lucky that for some reason you can't make more. And you definitely can't repair them with magic. That was another thing written into their contract, I guess. You see where I'm going with this. Soft systems have a lot going for them. They're really, really creative, but they do tend to be creative in their plot holes as well, and they can turn into the size of small planets if you're not careful. If you want a little bit more believable, but a slightly less creative world, hard is where you want to go. If you want more creativity, go for soft. The middle ground. The middle ground is a hard magic system that is mysterious, but is not to be mixed up with a soft magic system. There is a direct cause and effect between the two. A middle ground system typically hides how its magic works, never revealing answers but showing effects. Game of Thrones is a popular example for this, no spoilers though. In his book, the Red Woman shows off many feats of power. She creates a shadow to kill someone, and it comes from her having sex with a certain somebody. The audience don't know how it works, but we see a strict set of rules it has to follow. Also, she throws leeches into a fire, and later we see several people die in quite a distance away. Again, we don't know how it works, we just know it did. This magic adds a level of mysticism to the book, and although the magic is very, very hands off, it still sort of feels like it's in the land itself. Now you know, I'll show you how to design each of these systems. And here are my 7 steps to a fully developed magic system. This will work for soft, hard, and middle ground systems. You can use them for all, and I'll show you this later. Step number 1, what's the source of your magic? Is it God? Is it before our time? Is it relics, substances, magic sea turtles, genetics, just from the body? Number 2, how is it fueled? Is it body energy, magical items, deities, nature, no place at all maybe? Magic users. How are the magic users picked? Chance, genetics, bloodlines, radiation, special relics, learnt, maybe even radiated spiders. Are there factions? Is there a government? Do they use them? Are there guilds? Is there a hierarchy to this ability? Number 4, how is it used or directed? Is it used by thoughts, feelings, communications, magic words, substances, even items? Step number 5, the magical constraints. These will help minimize the plot breaking moments. Is it limited by energy, limited by bloodline, limited by godly choice? Can it be stopped by a foreign source? If certain metal touches you, does it stop? What's the maximum that can be done in the system? What's the easiest way to beat it? What are the repercussions? What does your ability do if you use too much? List all of your possible ones. I usually do this in order, so I have fatigue, heart slows, headache, nosebleeds, throw up, collapse, death, and finally your theme and culture. Is the magic scorned by society? Is it kept secret? If so, why? Are there hierarchies? Do they wear special clothing? Have they got certain tattoos? Do they have special language, religion, holidays, celebrations, special place they all live? You have to consider all of these. So using my 7 steps, let's make a hard system example. Let's do a magical word system, for example. So its source is before our time, is don't know where it comes from. It's fueled by life energy from a person or can be stored in gemstones. Its magic users are the genetic lottery for humans, so some are more akin to it, and it's pretty standard for Fae and Elves. And it's directed by magical words from a nearly extinct language. Nobody can speak it fully, but users share it at a cost, usually like for gold or for more words. Its constraints are life energy and knowledge of the system. Its repercussions are fatigue, collapse, and death. And its theme or culture is people fear any magical user for what they can achieve. It's just sort of not known that much, so people tend to not like that. Soft magic system example. Let's do a system for, let's say, godly given powers. Its source is of a god by choice. It's fueled by divine power given by a god. Its users are humans who accomplish great things when chosen by a god, or people who accomplish feats a particular god would like. It's directed by the will of the user, just thoughts and feelings. Its magic constraints or magic won't always be granted by the god, or the god might not be powerful enough to achieve it. Its repercussions is asking more than the basics means you have to have a sacrifice or a tribute to be given. And the theme of culture is they're admired depending upon what god you're with, or feared if you're with other ones. Finally, the middle ground example. Let's do Game of Thrones straight up. I like stealing. Number 1, the source of the magic, it's unknown. How it's fueled, rituals, chants, and gods. Magical users are random, trained, or genetic. How it's used, it's directed with rituals, training, or the praise of a god. Its constraints are knowledge, God's will, or special constraints of a spell. Repercussions are too varied to really name. And finally, its culture, unaware, afraid, suspicious, or they admire. It's a variance. And these are the basics. From here you can have another few factors to consider for all these points. Those are the 7 steps being used, and hopefully you find them useful. It'll help you give a really good cornerstone. After that, follow on with these next points. Theme your powers. Quite a few writers have themed their powers around the world of their book. I've done the same for mine personally. This can allow your world's powers to be a great world building tool. You could have a godly theme and have your abilities reflect a real or a fake god. You've got a vampire thing going on. Have your vampires able to control blood inside their bodies as weapons, or for blood magic. Themes can really help you push your world character. Definitely consider pushing it in if the abilities and powers are a really important part of the book. Categories. Abilities can be cut into categories similar to Avatar. For other magic systems, you can have people who specialize into certain categories and name them. So for a sword and shield magic system, some people specialize in defensive abilities could be named shields in the book, whereas destructive users could be called basilisks. Just ensure there's an easily distinguishable difference between your abilities whenever you're categorizing them. Special abilities point number 1, where they're from. So special abilities can come from training, genetics, granted by a character, a special relic, maybe even a god again, or any other place. When writing special abilities outside the norm, ensure they have an actual reason and a place they came from. You can't just have a special power because you want your MC to be special. Make sure they got it through some trial or tribulation, something. Special abilities point number 2, progression. Abilities, even special ones, should follow a natural extension of your current power system. For example, if in the world you've characters that can turn their skin into stone, have the special ability of your MC to turn their skin into diamonds, which are still from the earth, just with more pressure. It's an extension that makes sense and makes them more powerful, so this can also go in with point number 1. Just make sure there's a reason. Additional limitations. Now let's focus on additional factors you must consider. There are 2. Does a lack of control make your character's ability weak? Well, it's at its maximum end. When they do get control, will it become too strong? If the character doesn't have enough control, could this ability harm others or even themselves? Maybe an ability needs touch to work. Maybe it can work for a mile, maybe 3 miles. Maybe it needs line of sight. Pick the best option for your book, taking into consideration your power system, and be really careful about that because you can mess it up. Multiple powers. This is a slippery slope to skid down. In my book, I've got a power system that my entire cast of characters could master. theoretically. I mean, every character, extended ability, and even special abilities. Theoretically being the key term. Many people are attuned to one ability about 90% of the time, 2 abilities around 9% of the time, and 3 abilities around 0.999% of the time. Beyond that, you can do the maths for 4 abilities. So basically, it's ridiculously rare for someone to master more than one, never mind all 4 types. In other words, I've allowed multiple abilities, but limited quite severely. Multiple powers can make a character overpowered and make characters not feel special. Just be careful with them, as I have been as well, and it hasn't been too bad for me yet. And that's it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you found it helpful and better yet entertaining. For anyone that got this far, go down to the comment section and make up a ridiculous power system that's really out there. Be as unique and creative as you possibly can, and I can't wait to read them. Beyond that, guys, best of luck in the book, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.